Time is a precious commodity. People use it for all sorts of things. Some use it for work and other responsibilities. Me? I'm going to use time to talk to some really awesome people. I'm Sergio Barrera, and this is A Few Minutes With. Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of A Few Minutes With. I am Sergio Barrera, and as always, I am joined by the amazing Susan Chisholm. Welcome.
Thank you. It's been a week since we've seen, and it's been a week.
Has it?
It is. I mean, not a
Good.
bad week, just a
You
week.
you drove a robot apparently.
I've driven a robot for the past 3 shifts. I'll be driving one tomorrow, and I will be driving one Monday.
You have a really cool job. So.
I mean, yeah. If anybody's interested, it's the Da Vinci XI surgical robot.
Which will be our guest next week on A Few Minutes With.
No,
Probably not.
No.
But
Gerald will not be making an appearance.
Oh, that's right. You said you named him.
I named all the robots.
Yeah. Well, I have no robots in my place of business, but I definitely am busy as well. It's been a few weeks now. Countdown says week 5 of 6 in Houston. One more to go. And that doesn't keep us from doing a show, though, because that's why we're here.
Yeah.
We have a really cool guest this week.
We do, and I'm super excited.
Indeed.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I think we both are. Absolutely. And yeah, I know it's gonna be a fun show. But before we get started with our guest, Susan, today was National Black Cat Day.
Yes. National Black Cat Appreciation Day.
I know that Hallmark is kind of guilty of creating like national everything days. For instance, I learned earlier that tomorrow is National Fajita Day, as well as National Ice Cream Pie Day. And ironically enough, Saturday, National Potato Day. So, yeah.
You need to stream.
I feel like there's something I should do that day. But yeah, today is National Black Cat Day. And out of the many things that you and I hold in common, we actually both have black cats.
We do. Void kitties.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought it would be cool to spend a few minutes here at the top of the show sharing our furry loved ones. And so I wanted to kind of give you an opportunity to get us started because you have a lovely void that we're going to talk about here for a few minutes. This cute little number right here. Who is that?
This is Maya. She is my adorable void, my queen, the queen of my house.
Yeah, she's quite the cute one.
Yeah,
tell me about this picture.
We used to have a townhome with stairs, and she liked to sit on the very top of. We had to set it like the forever boxes when you move a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And you never open that box. We had that sitting in the corner, and so I was like, I bet she would love to look out that window. So I put her cat tree on top of that one of the forever boxes, and she loved looking outside.
Yeah. It's that's the thing. Cats and windows. I know mine. They love to nest nearby a window, and obviously she likes sunlight as well.
She does. We have a window in our dining room that's big, tall, and it's got like a dome at the top, or shaped off like that. And the way we have the curtains set, like one tiny stream of light goes onto the dining room table, and that's where she'll be.
Yeah, 100%. They do. Yeah, all of my cats they chase the sunbeams, and they got to find a spot that's right smack dab in the middle of a sunbeam. Yep. This last picture is actually one of my absolute favorites because we got to be in our own picture.
I was cooking dinner, and she likes to be in the kitchen when I cook dinner because chicken.
Yeah.
I don't think I think I was cutting vegetables, and she jumped up on the counter and then just right on the shoulder and then stood up. I was like, what are you doing? And I mean, she stood there for, I finished chopping the onion or whatever it was, and she was just like, okay, jump down, see you later. And,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
They have no sense of personal space. This is the thing.
yeah.
But yeah, I also am celebrating today, and of course, it made me miss my fur babies tremendously. But
Yeah.
this is Charlie. Charlie is my sweet sweet girl. She was actually I've told the story before, I believe, on the show how
Hmm.
Jen and I we have cameras that we've those what are they for the sense of securing the house. We put them in position where we put water and food out for the random creatures in our neighborhood. And so
Kind of a
we
wildlife camera.
well, so we see a whole litany of creatures that come by and grab food and water. I even upgraded to these 1 gallon water dispensers because of the heat. I want to make sure that any unclaimed wildlife has access to water. But anyway, that's where Charlie actually we started to see her coming around as one of the regular visitors, and she was always last at the food bowl, and it got a bit competitive. We'll just say it that way. And we noticed that she was just getting thinner and just really stressed out, and so we took it upon ourselves to adopt her. And now, of course, she had lost all of the hair on her undercarriage, from the stress of it all. But now she is 100%. Well, not queen of the house quite, because she's, Moggy is my queen, but definitely the princess, and she's got those beautiful eyes, and she's just an adorable. So she's very people oriented. We really think that she was dumped, unfortunately, because she's
Yeah.
literally. I go up to her and she'll put her legs out, and she'll like wrap her arms around me, and she'll let me carry her around. She's a big hugger, and just adorable as all get out. Is my Charlie. And this is my absolute favorite picture of Charlie. And that's because, again, she herself has no sense of personal space. If I can get the picture to come up. There you go. So,
Yeah.
yeah. For those who don't know, I'm 6'4", and Charlie finds a way to climb up on the cat tree and jump onto my shoulders. Like, as I'm walking past, she will do exactly what you see here. She'll jump on, and then I can walk around the house without any support on her, like just walking, and she will sit on my shoulders and make the trip with me all the way through the house. So it's it's an amazing feat of acrobatics on her part, to do this. But yeah, this is my sweetheart Charlie. She's an amazing cat. And so today we celebrate our black cats. I don't know if folks that are watching have a black cat, but if you do, comment on the stream wherever you're watching it, and let us know. And
Tell us their name.
yeah, let us
I'm
know
all
their
about
names.
cat names.
Yeah, indeed. Speaking of those who are watching, I want to welcome to those of you who are participating in the chat. We invite you to do so on either YouTube or Facebook Live.
Mhm.
I want to say hello to our dear friend Drew, who continues to visit us week to week. Always great to see him. Drew mentions, or he asks, when is National Fajita Pie Day? So I'll do some research, Drew, and we'll we'll find out. And he also mentions that he misses the potato theme song from Twitch. Drew, you'll be happy to know that very soon I will be returning to streaming, and you'll have the opportunity to play that potato song. So I also want to say hi to I can't call him Cullen on the show. He's Captain Sparkle Pants, man. And so good to see him, and as well our friend Savage. Thank you all so much for being here this evening. For all of you who aren't in the chat, join in if you wish. But if not, thank you so much for being with us here tonight as we continue this journey on A Few Minutes With. And yeah, it's going to be a fun night. And so I think that without further ado, we should get my big face off the screen and move on to the main event of why we're here this evening. With that said, Susan, you and I met this lovely individual who's going to be joining us quite a while back, um,
Yes.
and it has been. I don't even know where to start. Like, if you had to describe our friend Jeanine, who's about to join us, what are some things that for you stand out?
Um, Jeanine is very enthusiastic, and she pours everything of herself into what she's doing and what she's, um, like for instance, well, the business that she's run, and it's like just incredible because you know how much work goes into that, and it's like
Right.
she's always there. And then even like when we're just hanging out to eat, like when right before she moved away,
Boo.
yeah, boo. That's not okay. Right before she moved away, the three of us, sat down and had dinner and at Sticks and Stone, and like just watching her eat, she was just so passionate about it. And I was like, yeah, we're the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, many of you who are watching know her from her business, One Punch Dough, which we'll talk a bit about tonight. But tonight is a very unique opportunity because Jeanine doesn't know this yet, but we're going to do an interview like never before. So I think it's time to welcome her on so that we can go ahead and begin her visit. And so please welcome our gluten consultant on A Few Minutes With. This is Jeanine Hodge. Jeanine, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight on A Few Minutes With.
I am so happy to be here, and you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should call you Butter.
Yeah.
Because you're on a roll.
Nah.
I should not quit my day job. I know.
Oh my goodness. Jeanine, you and I have had the opportunity to do this interview stuff before. It's been a while though. I was shocked to realize it's been a little over 3 years now that we've known each other.
I know, it's crazy. And I
Yeah.
remember like the feelings that I had when you first interviewed me. It was just, I'm feeling the same way, just like that nervous excitedness. And,
Yeah.
and it's more fun now because like I've gotten to know you over the years, and
Yeah.
it's just like a chat with my friends.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Susan, I remember telling you, I was like, I've met this person. They make bread and it's really good. And she
And
was
I
like,
was
tell
like,
me more.
I have curious. Tell me about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Jeanine, for those watching, of course, we want to hear a bit about the bread and baking and stuff. But I also wanted to see if we could use this opportunity that we have here on this episode to learn more about you, because one of the biggest things I've learned about you in the time I've known you is you are connected into so many different things, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a missed opportunity if we just talked bread, but I know that that's a big passion. So, share a little bit about, your journey through and into baking. And then from there, I'd like to catapult into a few other things that we're going to do in a little bit of a unique way.
Okay, that's a lot. So I
You have 2 minutes.
countdown starts now. Mortal Kombat theme. Well, bread puns never get stale, so
Yeah.
So I actually used to be a really terrible baker. And I used to do a lot of like the brownies and sweets and bring them into work, and a lot of it was just like following very closely to recipes. And it wasn't until I met my husband, Jai, that he told me to switch over. He was like, metric is the way to go. It's more consistent. And I was like, no, there's no way. Like, it can't be that much different. And then once he got me like a kitchen scale, and I started using metric, I started seeing such a vast difference. And it wasn't really until 2016 that I got into bread and seeing these like what used to be really dense, gross, terrible. Like I'm sure you guys have baked bread, and I'm sure that you've added too much flour, just mixed it wrong, or maybe not. Maybe you had your perfect loaf from the
I
start.
think you're talking to the audience because I haven't. I'm too
mean,
scared to.
I have, and it turned into a brick. I mean, like a
Yeah,
weapon. You could throw that at somebody.
and I have totally been there. Like it was this dense, like, I guess I'll eat it. Like I put all this time and energy and ingredients into it, but then I ended up throwing most of it away because it was just super gross. But yeah, once I switched over to measuring things by weight, like I saw huge differences and I got excited because it was actually edible and people actually liked it. And um, yeah, just kind of catapulted from there. So thank you, Jai, for getting me that first kitchen scale. And, I've broken 4 of them until I got like an industrial one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
You
Well,
gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah, exactly. Throughout the course of that journey, there's been so many different things that I've seen you do, but one of the things that I know stood out to me, Jeanine, in your world of baking is you're always trying new things. That kind of extends to a lot of things in your life. What were some of the things that went really well? And is there anything that you tried baking wise that was like, maybe not again?
so I'm a very stubborn person. And Jai can tell you this from all of the macarons that I've baked and all the eggs that I've gone through and all the recipes that I've created from using just egg yolks because macarons are just using the egg whites. I had set like little goals for myself
Hmm.
to challenge. I created challenges for myself to overcome every week, and I would always go after the really, really hard ones. And macarons was my first big baking challenge that I did, and I had like 9, 10 flavors on my menu when I first started, and I undercharged thinking that they weren't that great, but then they were great. And I don't know, it was just too hard to keep up with, and people wanted me to ship them, and they're very hard to ship. And I don't know, it's just one of those cookies. Like, and you can ask any baker that makes them, like it's a love-hate relationship. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I set myself challenges that I would just do every week, and I would just give them to people, and most people would be like, all right, you gotta stop giving me baked goods. Like I can't eat it all. I know.
Not me.
What? Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Baked
Uh,
goods is like my love language.
yeah. I miss the hand pies tremendously. I'll just
Yeah.
say that right now. And your baguettes are the things of my dreams. So yeah. So as Susan mentioned earlier, you made a move recently. Is there a thought towards, at some point relaunching One Punch Dough? Is that something that, is it okay to ask if that's going to be a thing going forward?
Yeah, actually, I came to a decision literally yesterday about it, and my kitchen. So right now, I kind of downgraded from the kitchen space that I had in Texas,
Hmm.
and there's not a lot of counter space here with this new kitchen in Virginia. So me and Jai, we ordered a kitchen island with like all this counter space. And then just yesterday, I told him that I'm probably not going to start up One Punch Dough until next year.
Okay.
So
But you
just trying
are
to get
starting.
yeah, restart it. Um,
Yes.
but I haven't really had time, like true like time to spend with my family for the holidays and get to experience them. And so this will be like the 1 year that I can do that in a new
Yeah.
house and a new place, and next year I'll be going full force.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, then I'll put away the petition I'd started.
It already has 22,000 signatures. Just saying,
Yeah.
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
I didn't even know we
Yeah.
knew 22,000 people, but
People
Yeah.
got to
evidently.
have their bread, you know.
Yeah. We'll let them know tomorrow at the meeting we had scheduled. So
No more bagels. Sorry.
no, but I mean, I'm really glad. I mean, obviously, when you moved, we were all very, very heartbroken, but it's awesome that through moments like this and, other things we'll share a little later, that we continue to get to have that, relationship with you as a friend, but also to see what the future holds. And so we're excited about that.
Yes.
So with that in mind, we do like to interview unique folks here on the show, and you definitely fit the bill. But I
Yes.
just knew that I couldn't do a standard list of questions that, we needed it to be unique. And so this is sort of in honor of you, because you actually shared a list with us of potential things we could talk about. So
Yep.
this is partly your fault. Uh,
Partly.
what I did is I created a randomizer, and the randomizer is titled Jeanine Randomly. And so what I did is I took the topics that you shared with us, and I put them into a randomizer. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to bring up a topic with the randomizer will, and then share whatever comes to mind, and whatever based on what you share, we'll ask questions, and we'll just kind of have some fun with this and learn more about you. Okay, does that sound fun?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. So the first one that comes up is reading. So talk to us a little bit about, what is your, your thoughts on the topic and books that you like, just kind of get us started with whatever you want to share in terms of reading.
Man, I wish I could share. So we have a like fireplace room on the other side of this wall and like I just put up all my books because we're still like unpacking and everything. The last book, so there's an entire shelf and a half dedicated to cookbooks and food. um, but beyond that, I have, some of the Harry Potter books. I have a lot of sci-fi, fantasy, Wheel of Time. I started collecting that because I lost my set, which I'm really sad about. So I'm like slowly buying back those books. Shadow and Bone series I really liked. Dune I really liked. Anything by R.A. Salvatore. He does a lot of fantasy books and like Dungeons and Dragons kind of themes and stuff. I love Elaine Cunningham. She's a really good author, also that fantasy genre. Um, back in the day, I used to read a lot of Janet Ivanovich, and I was like Stephanie Plum books, like the crime, like set in New Jersey, and just real characters and relatable people. I read pretty much anything,
Yeah.
but it's mostly geared towards fantasy and sci-fi, Lord of the Rings style books and stuff. So
Yeah.
What was the last book that you read?
it's unfortunately been a while, and it was actually it was a cookbook. I read I read front to back of the Tartine bread book because he's like a pioneer of the sourdough industry out of San Francisco, and it's inspiring, his story, and he has a lot of like great tips in there about bread, and um, reading that kind of stuff just makes me want to go bake.
That's awesome.
I have to ask you the age old question. You're stuck on a deserted island. 3 books you would want to have with you.
I would say the Windwalkers trilogy by Elaine Cunningham, because I have the original copy that I grew up with, and it's like it's old. Like I'm afraid to even like pull it out of its little case because you
Oh,
can tell that it's so old. Um, but definitely that trilogy. I could read it a million times and never get bored.
nice.
I
Love
like
it. All right. Shall we move to the next random topic?
Yes.
Let's see what it gives us. Traveling.
Exciting.
I got excited. I mean, because I have always loved traveling and just haven't really been able to make that kind of thing happen. Fortunately, I've gotten a little bit of a savings account now, and a good friend that likes to have food with me in places. So What so far has been your favorite place to travel to?
It's it's really a toss-up from when I took a trip to Newfoundland. Like I drove with a group of my friends in a pickup truck, and it was five adults just cramped in this tiny little space. And only two of us really knew how to, like, all of us knew how to drive, but only two of us did it well. And I was one of those people. So it was just me and my friend, and we would we blasted the entire discography of System of a Down, and it was like 2 in the morning. We were just like deliriously singing System of a Down songs, like the guitar parts, the the drum parts, like every single part of the songs. Um, but Newfoundland and Canada is just gorgeous. Like
Yeah.
it it's hard to describe it in words. It's just a beautiful place, and I definitely want to go back and explore more of it. And then the other one is Puerto Rico. I have family down there, and my uncle, or my great uncle, I guess, he owns like half of a mountainside, and it's like this big farm, and he introduced me to cockfighting, and he was like, the real winner of a, like, he explained all the things about like what a real winning rooster would do. And um that was something at like 10 years old. I was just like, okay, I'm totally going to take this, and it has stuck with me over the years. So but just the culture in Puerto Rico and the food in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
oh gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely on my list of places I need to go. I'm wondering, with all the work that you've done in baking and really any other form of cooking, does food play a role in where you decide to go and places you'd like to visit?
Yes and no. Sometimes I do want to go visit a place for like a historical value.
Mhm.
And then there's going to be good food anywhere in the
Sure.
world. So it's just a matter of connecting with local people that know the area, and just kind of exploring and even getting lost, because sometimes like you find those little hole in the wall places, and it's
Yes.
the best thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, again, we're talking about a specific topic, but sometimes questions pop to mind as a result.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to travel anywhere in the world to say study under someone that you look to as a mentor or guide in baking, is that do you have anyone in mind that you'd be like, if I could spend time with this individual, I definitely would travel there and do so?
Oh my gosh, there's so many people. I unfortunately don't know his actual name, but I follow him on Instagram, and the first one that comes to mind is this baker from Japan,
Mhm.
and he hosts classes about like the perfect way to make a croissant. And I've followed him for years, and he breaks it down to like the exact temperature of how the butter should be, and depending on where you live, like how your oven should be situated. Like it's just incredible how much it breaks down into it. And I really wish more people understood like how, like, a croissant seems simple, but it's really not. And like I think you remember, like, in Austin when we went to that bakery, like just the display of croissants and like
Yeah.
baked goods that they had. I was just like blown away. And it's just a true deep appreciation for things like that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Fantastic. Well, let's see what the next topic is going to be according to Jeanine randomly. It's going to be, oh, you mentioned drawing on your list that you sent
Yes.
us.
Mhm.
So I don't draw as well. I do and I don't. So for the sourdough that I design and stuff, sometimes I'll draw out something, um, and then I'll try and recreate it poorly with a knife. But yeah, I used to draw a lot. I used to doodle a lot. This tattoo up here was actually something that I drew and gave to a tattoo artist, and they made it tattoo friendly. Um, I just I love it. It's like a stress relief in a way. Just
Mm.
if you have an emotion or a feeling and you just want to get it out on paper. Because I'm not really good with paint. Like for me, it's just like let's just abstract it.
Yeah.
But pencils and um, that medium is probably my favorite way.
It does really translate well though to your bread art because I know the designs I've seen you do on your
Yeah.
sourdough are phenomenal. As a matter of fact, while we're here, where can people see Jeanine the work you've done on sourdough that kind of lends itself to what we're talking about in terms of the drawing?
I'd say the best place is Instagram, just on my One Punch Dough handle. It's basically like an art gallery of bread.
Yeah.
And you can see all the past things that I've done and tried. And also on Threads, I've been on that more often recently, just posting pictures of things more updated of what I've tried. The latest thing that I've done is I got this X-Acto blade kit, and it lets me do these fine details on dough that I've never been able to do before. And I'm really excited to just try that out and do different designs with that.
Nice. Nice. I love
Yeah.
it.
So if you had somebody who wanted to learn how to draw, what advice would you give them?
Oh my gosh. I started out by literally copying over like a light board and like just I like my first drawings were of Dragon Ball Z characters and like anime, and I really was into anime deeply in high school. So um starting out trying to mimic an artist that you like, and then kind of finding your own way from there. Some people are naturally talented. I am not one of those people. So for me, I started out with mimicking other
Gotcha.
artists. So
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
awesome. I know. Yeah, it's funny because it's again, this variety of things that we're learning about you, and it's like you seem to find whatever it is you're interested in doing, you pour yourself into it. Has that been a trait of yours that has that always been your way? And is there such a thing as too many things that you try to do, or is it how do you balance all these things that you love?
I would like to dedicate all of this random knowledge and random things that I'm into to ADHD. I go through different hobbies, and some things I've stuck with, some things have just been like in passing, and I feel silly for spending money on like all these materials and stuff. But I try not to, waste money. And I try to get into hobbies that are somewhat useful. Bread is definitely useful, and my kids and my family and friends, and food is one of my love languages anyway, so being able to just make something and give it to someone, and it makes me feel good, so
Gotcha.
totally
Gotcha.
selfish.
Oh no, that's good. It definitely pays off for some of us, so we're happy about that.
BT Dubs, did you need my address again? Because
Oh no, I have it saved. I have a whole list of, not to be creepy or anything,
I was
but
gonna say, should I be scared?
Oh
look
man.
behind you. No.
All right, let's see where we're headed next. We'll do a couple more. That one already came up.
Drawing again.
Oh yeah, I'm glad this one came up. I was so hoping.
I wonder why.
Robotics. I love robotics. I wish I was more active in robotics like I used to be. My son actually had joined robotics because the school in Texas had offered it, and I'm still looking for programs here to try and like continue that. I was on a team in high school and into college, and came back the first year, like when I was alumni, but I didn't really have time, and then life is life, and
Mhm.
it was unfortunate. But robotics is so cool. There's different levels. So there's FLC, which is like elementary level, and FLC stands for First Lego Competition. And they build everything with Lego, and it's super cool. And they teach the kids how to build things and how different parts work. And then when you get into middle school, it's FVC, and that's First Vex Competition. And back in the day, there was a store called Radio Shack. Yes, I'm old. And I'm sure you can still get these kits, but you could get these Vex kits, and they were pretty pricey, but it basically had everything you needed to build a robot. And you can program it and make it do whatever you want, and it was really cool. And then at a high school level, it's FRC, so First Robotics Competition. And every year it's a different set of challenges and a different, thing that you have to do to get the robot to do, a different way to build it. You're sometimes put on teams with other students from different high schools, and like it's worldwide, and it's just a really cool competition that kids get into and teach you about robotics.
Nice.
And to this day, so my team in high school was Team 116, and wherever I see 116 anywhere, like I immediately think of that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Fantastic.
That's awesome. So I don't know if you were tuned in yet. I'm a surgical nurse, and I have been working with Da Vinci robots, which are really cool, like little tiny things. And you can look up like videos and stuff about how they did surgery on a grape and stuff like that. But like that is a million billion miles away from something like a high school competition.
Yeah.
Do you
Still cool
remember,
nonetheless.
did you ever win any awards or remember, and what was like the most challenging thing that challenging robot challenge, I guess, that you had to do?
The challenging challenge.
Challenging challenge. It was a challenging challenge that challenged you.
So within a team for robotics at a high school level, you have different subgroups, and each subgroup works on a specific part. So there's like mobility, there's the programmers, there's a whole animation team that there's like a whole separate award that you can get for animation. So I was on the animation team, and I was also on the programming team, and I was also on the well, I guess it was like hand in hand. The programming team worked with like the kids who did AutoCAD design. So before you even like think to build with actual tools and materials for a robot, you have to design it and make sure each part fits where it needs to be, and all the measurements are correct, because otherwise it's just a big waste of time. And yeah, so and then I was also for my senior year, I was the finance officer, and then I also did the website design from scratch with HTML and CSS by myself. And then I also did the graphic design for the team t-shirt. As for awards, again, it's more of a cumulative effort on everyone's part. Like, you need everyone to work as a team in order to even be thought of for awards. And we had won an award for Team 116 for our like the brain of the robot. It was this tiny little box, and if we needed to work on it, it was just like you opened it up, and it was all modular, and it was all easy to get to. And so we won an innovation award for that. And we also won an animation award my senior year. Senior year was like the year we had a bunch of awards, which was pretty cool. So yeah, those are like the two main ones. There are a bunch of like other awards that you can win. Like the Chairman's Award, we won one year, which is like a high up there award. That's presented by a man named Dean Kamen, who was the inventor of Segway, who was the founder of First Robotics, and Woody Flowers, who is a person in the field that is in robotics, without going into like too much detail.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm glad that topic came up because you've mentioned it in the time I've known you. You've mentioned robotics quite a few times, so I'm glad we had a chance to hear about that from you. We'll do one more.
Okay.
And let's see what it's going to be. Oh, I mean, how appropriate.
Love that.
This was truly random. So you know, all of us are self-proclaimed foodies, right? We'll start with, when did you realize that food had become a passion for you, and then, you know, just share any thoughts you might have, you know, around this topic.
So I don't think I knew at a young age, but I just had this affinity for trying foods and experiencing different cultures and how things were prepared, and what you consider bread here isn't considered bread, or you know, every culture, every country has some version of a dumpling, every culture has some type of sandwich, and it's so interesting, like growing up. And I grew up around a lot of different types of people, all walks of life, and I think that was the beginning of my love for food. And I have very specific memories with food. Like when I lived in Georgia, we had some Indian friends that she made homemade samosas, and she introduced me to chai, like the legit chai,
Yeah.
and just all these different, and like roti, and just all those like wonderful foods from her part of where her family grew up in India. And we also had a lot of like Korean families that we lived around and made friends with. And I love Korean food. Like it, every time that I eat Korean food, it's just like huge smile on my face. And um, Korean fusion, just any aspect of it is just wonderful. But yeah, I just love food. I love experiencing new foods, and I really love fusion places. Like I just think that's like the pinnacle of creativity, of like you're taking the best aspects from two different walks of life and combining into this wonderful thing, that's so unique. And I try and seek those places out a lot.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that food is your love language. What does that mean to you? How do you, you know, if you could define what that means, share a little bit about that.
Giving it, receiving it. If you invite me, like, hey, let's go get, it could be like, let's go get coffee. Yes, that's like a sign of love for me. Like, you understand that I love to do this act of going to go get some type of food item or drink or anything that I can consume with somebody else. I know anyone who does that knows me.
Gotcha.
Even if it's not intentional. I, you know, because everyone eats, but I will ultimately get along with you more if there's food involved.
I love that. I'm so glad we had this in common then.
So, is there one particular dish that you've had that you think everybody's got to try sometime in their life?
Oh my gosh. Well, my mind is like wrapped around Korean food. So bulgogi is wonderful and everyone should try it. And lumpia is also, everyone should try that, of any type. Like there's veggie lumpia if you're not into meat, but my favorite is the pork lumpia, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah. I
I'm
can
so happy.
relate. I can relate. Well, it has been fun. I mean, in just a few topics. I mean, we've learned a lot about you, Jenny, and I really appreciate you sharing with us more about yourself here on the show. You're actually going to be around a bit because we have exciting news that we shared last week that I want to take a moment to thank you in person for. Jeanine has agreed that she's going to become part of the A Few Minutes with staff. You're going to be helping us with so many different
It's slave
things.
labor, guys.
Wow. Okay, that did. I'll edit that out.
The show
But,
is live.
but no, and I'm just excited because you're helping bring so much of your knowledge on things that we didn't even get a chance to talk about tonight. And so thank you so much for becoming part of our team, and not only is it going to, of course, allow us to grow as a show, but more importantly, it's going to keep us connected as friends. So welcome to the team, and thank you so much for being part of it.
I am so excited to start this journey and be a part of this. And I love you guys. And I think you're funny and just great entertainment. And I think more people should watch you.
Thank
Thank you.
you. No.
Y'all just
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
cool.
stop. Keep going.
Yeah, no. So some of the things that Jeanine will be helping us out with is everything from clips from live shows to social media, work. You've taught us a ton in just a couple of meetings, and also helping us get organized in planning the future episodes. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, so thank
we'll
you
get
again,
there.
Jenny. Yeah. Yes, we will. Absolutely. By December. So I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're lucky.
Yeah, yeah. So, Jeanine, you've shared a lot of your different passions and hobbies and so forth. Where can people find you on social media, and any final thoughts, advice, whatever things you want to, tell our listeners? I'm going to leave the floor open to you for a few moments.
I'm on every platform in every way, shape, and form. It sounds crazy, but running a small business, you got to do what you got to do to get your name out there. Lately, I've been on Instagram and Threads mostly. Facebook has kind of been a back burner. It gets overwhelming when you don't actually have like content to make. So
Sure.
I limited to the two for now. So you can find me at One Punch Dough on both those, Threads and Instagram, and Facebook. Eventually I'll be on there. But lots of bread content.
Bread content is always welcome. So
No, I'm down for that.
indeed. All right. Well, Susan, I think we both agree this is not only going to be a fun journey to be on, but it's been a fantastic time having Jeanine on.
I agree wholeheartedly. I have so many questions, but not enough time.
Next time that you need a loaf, just holla at me.
There it is. There it is. All right. We've been talking to Jeanine Hodge from One Punch Dough, our resident gluten consultant. And thank you again, Jeanine, so much for the time you've taken to be with us tonight. We've had a great time.
Sweet. It's been fun to be here. Thank you, guys.
All right. We'll look forward to next time. So we'll see you real soon.
Cool.
All right. What a fun time. It's always a great time hanging out with Jeanine.
Yeah, I think we need to. I think that we need to make a road trip.
Yeah.
To Virginia.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
I haven't been to Virginia. Have you?
nope.
So yeah,
I haven't even been close.
I've been actually. Well, I've driven through. I've driven.
Oh yeah,
so,
and you're on your
on my mega
massive
trip
journey
around the East Coast.
around the world.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be great to partner with her on so many things, and we'll look forward to having her back because we scratched the surface tonight. There's still a lot of things that we can learn about her, and
we have more topics in the randomizer.
Yes, we do. Absolutely. So, all right. Well, as we start to move towards landing the plane on this week's episode, I want to make sure that we don't forget to do our TikTok of the week. Notorious Foodie. Does that sound familiar, Susan?
Yes, indeed. It absolutely does.
Tell me what you like about their content.
I like that it's not a lot of like talking, you know. He's not well, first you need to blah 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 blah. He just does it. And he's
Yeah.
very artistic about how he puts together his videos. And just it's very crisp. I like it.
Yeah. Very crisp indeed.
And the end, of course.
Yeah, it's a very unique ending. So we're going to take a moment here to get set up for this week's TikTok of the week. This is Notorious Foodie. Make sure you look up the content, and I promise you will not regret it. So let's go ahead and take a moment to check out a fantastic episode from Notorious Foodie. Here we go.
Uh-oh, I hear no sound.
Did you say no sound?
No sound.
Well, darn it. Let's see about setting that up again. It happens. This
Share sound.
happens when you're live. It did say it said I was sharing sound, so let's try it again. So
I like to tease Sergio because there's been a couple of times that we've forgotten to share sound. So
it's still clicked. So let's see if it works this time. All right, here we go.
there we go.
Oof, I love watching those. I'm starving now. So
We actually had barbecue chicken from my amazing, loving, adoring husband made dinner for me.
it looked great.
It was so good. I
looked awesome.
did help. I made potato salad, but he made barbecue chicken and baked beans. So
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Make sure you check out Notorious Foodie on TikTok and other platforms. Again, just an amazing content creator, and now I want to go eat. So yeah, there you go. Susan will be back next week with a brand new episode, and big news to close out. And I'd like you to share about this. People can find all our shows now.
People can find all of our shows. So if you go to our YouTube page, A Few Minutes With, all of our previously recorded or previously the episodes that were on Twitch that were live have been now uploaded to YouTube in order, which wow.
That's important.
It was a challenge. So all of them are available on YouTube. And of course, if you subscribe, anytime we upload new videos, you'll know immediately because you'll get a little message notification.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you click that subscribe button on YouTube. A Few Minutes With, also the notification bell. As Susan mentioned, we'll let you know when our episodes land. But more importantly, when you get the opportunity, make sure you catch us right here on YouTube and Facebook live every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central. And we'll look forward to whatever next week brings, because again, we talk about whatever the heck we want.
Talk about anything, everything.
Indeed.
Nothing.
Hence our name. So thank you all so much for the time you spent. For those of you who were active in the chat, we thank you so much for doing so. We appreciate
Yes,
it, and we look
thank
forward
you.
to seeing you every single week. But as we always say, on behalf of Susan and I, thank you as always. We love you. We appreciate you. And don't forget, love one another, love yourself, and don't forget, you're awesome. You're amazing. And the world's a better place because you are in it. We'll see you next week on A Few Minutes With. Good night, everybody.
Good night.